My name is Kelly Herbig. I'm a virtual content specialist for special education, social studies, grades 3 through 5. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the quarters image analysis. This is an activity that is used in a few different lessons in the 5th grade Passport to Social Studies curriculum. It's a really fun and engaging activity that promotes a lot of analysis and higher order thinking. Because it's such a really wonderful activity. We want to make sure that we're modifying it for our students with special needs or just any student who would need some sort of an accommodation in order to meet the goals of this activity. So, today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this activity and how it's explained in the lesson. And then I'm going to show you two ways that I would differentiate it to support students who need it. So today I'm specifically looking at this lesson. It is Unit 3, days 25 through 27 within the United States Case Study Unit in the Grade 5 curriculum. And here's the protocol that was lifted directly from the lesson. Quarters Image Analysis Protocol. Describe the image, beginning with the largest features. Note specific details like colors, shapes, sizes, and textures. Do not describe what you feel, just describe what you see. To help focus your analysis, divide the artwork into 4 quarters. Examine each quarter separately. Then put the parts together to, quote, see the whole story. So, as you can see, this is an activity that really does promote analysis, higher order thinking. And so, we want to make sure that all of our students can access this activity. So, what I'm going to do right now actually is I'm going to show you the exact lesson slides that this activity comes from. Okay, so now we're looking at this activity directly in the curriculum. So, students will be viewing this image. And you can see that the image is divided into 4 quarters. And the purpose of this is to get students to really focus in on each section of the artwork or image and think really deeply about what they're seeing. So, in this lesson, students would be looking at these 4 quarters and then putting their thinking here on this slide. This would be the top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. Now, this activity is accessible for many students, but for some students, it could be really hard to move back and forth between these slides and to keep track of what they've seen in each quarter and remember what the corresponding text box is for that quarter. So, what I'm going to do is just, like I said earlier, show you two ways that I differentiated this activity for students with special needs. So, in order to create this resource for any other lesson you're doing, I have all the materials ready for this lesson if you're teaching it. But if you want to take my resources and apply it to another activity or another lesson, you will need to know how to screenshot. There are other ways to save an image and crop it, but to me, screenshotting is just the easiest and quickest way. So if you are on a MacBook, that means you're going to press the Command, Shift, and then 4 key, and you're going to hold those all at once. I'll show you what it looks like. You can see that my mouse just changed to this little like target icon, and that allows you to select what you want to screenshot. If you are on a PC, you would hit Control and then the button that says Show All Windows. It looks like this. Now, many different computers might have different ways to screenshot. So, if how I'm explaining it in this video isn't helpful to you and your device, then I would just recommend Googling how to screenshot and then your device's name. And you should be able to find a step by step video that will show you how to screenshot. Okay, so here is the first way that I would differentiate this activity for students with special needs. What I've done here is just kind of put the activity on one page so that they don't have to click back and forth. And then I use the visual to help students remember which box they use to talk about which quarter. So here's the whole image, and I kept that on the page because, we do want students to be looking at the image as a whole. That's part of the protocol. But here you can see right above the text box is the top right corner of the image. So this is just a lot more straightforward for students. They know, oh, so in this text box right here, I'm writing about what I see here. In this text box here, I'm writing about what I see here. In this text box here, I'm writing about what I see here. And in this text box here, I'm writing about what I see here. Just as another reminder, if you are on a Mac, to screenshot, just so I can show you how I created these images, you press Shift, Command, and 4, and you're holding all of those keys at the same time. And when you do that, the little target icon will pop up, and you will be able to drag and kind of space out what you want to screenshot or what you want to take a picture of. So this is exactly how I screenshotted these images for this lesson. And on this page, which this will be available to you, it's just a blank version of the resource that I made so that if you're doing another lesson, whether it's an ELA or social studies, and you want your students to do an image analysis, you are more than welcome to use this resource. So now I'm going to show you another way that I would differentiate or modify this activity for students with special needs. I actually like this way a lot better. And what I would do is I might put students into groups or partnerships and have them focus on just one part and then use their partner to discuss the other parts. I think that by doing this type of differentiation, you're going to get a deeper thinking you're going to get deeper thinking from your student because they're really only focusing in on one part and they don't have to worry about doing all three parts. So if you're really looking for them to go into a deeper analysis, then I would suggest this. So what I've done here is I've just kept the whole image on the top because again, we want them to look at the image as a whole as well. And then I just screenshotted one portion. I actually chose a portion I chose a quarter that I felt had a lot going on so that I knew that the student would have a lot to write down that they see. And so all they will have to do is just focus in on this one quarter and write down everything they see. Maybe you put them into a group of 4 and one student takes each corner and then they meet to talk about what they've seen. And I think this takes the pressure off of doing the whole thing and it lets them sit longer and go deeper on one part instead of kind of rushing through to type out what they notice in all 4 parts. And here is also a resource that you are free to use if you ever want to do this activity with a different Passport to Social Studies lesson, if you're not a fifth grade teacher, or if you just want to do it with another fifth grade lesson, or if you even just want to take this strategy and use it in another content area. You are more than welcome to use this resource to put an image in. You would put the whole image up here, and then you would just put the bigger corner down here, and the students will type right here what they see and what they notice. So, overall, Quarter's image analysis is a really great tool to get kids thinking analytically. You just might have to differentiate the activity for students with special needs. And this is something that we do all of the time and something that, we know is the best practice. So I hope that this video here gave you one way that you could differentiate for your students. Um, and I hope that it helps you teach these lessons virtually.